we won, As soon as we got on stage, I remember like girls just started screaming. I feel, when you're in the moment, you don't feel it. It's just like, it's just there. It's like, oh, that's J. Cole, that's J. Cole, that's Stovelo, you just seeing these people. Everything just started happening really fast. We didn't have the intelligence to handle what was happening. There was one manager managing 4 guys with 4 different egos and stuff like that. It just went south real quick.
Welcome to AudioSwim Podcast, the home of the music hustle. Today we're going to interview my special guest, my good friend, one of the most talented artists in the UAE. Matter of fact, one of the most talented artists I ever heard, not even in the UAE. You know what I mean? We got my man, Jones, the Ikomboy. What's up, man?
President Carter.
What's happening with you, bro? How you feel?
It's a presidential honor to be on your podcast, my guy.
Oh, man, that's love, bro. That's love. Man, look, this podcast is mainly about the music industry, your trials, your struggles, your triumphs, everything that you've experienced here,
yes,
just navigating this landscape, man, which is a very difficult landscape to navigate, man. Music industry is one of the most craziest industries you could get into, man. So what inspired you to start? What got you into music?
Man, I wouldn't say it's a particular event, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
For me, I just found myself doing music.
Mm-hmm.
It's who you are. You're just living your life. And you just find yourself doing something one day. So I really usually don't know how to answer that question. But I guess I would say passion. Passion for music, love for music.
Yeah. So as a kid, you was going around the house singing, playing instruments, all that?
God, bro, trust me.
Yeah.
Like, I sing 20. When I'm at home and they don't hear me singing, then they know something's wrong.
Yeah.
Like, oh, bro, growing up, I would just sing. And I would bang the little pots and pans and I'd bang the little like tins and that's how I started.
Gotcha. So how long have you been doing music?
I've been a musician all my life, as long as I can remember, but let's say like officially 2014.
Okay.
I was dibbling and dabbling in there before 2014. But officially when I got recognized by like a body of like a musical body.
Like validated?
Yeah, 2014 when I was in SAE, and obviously I went through the whole SOS music phase with some record labels and stuff like that. So from 2014.
Right. Can we get into that a little bit? Like about your, the SOS phase or, let's get into that a little bit, man. So what was SOS for those who don't know? And how did it come about?
SOS was a music group. So it was 4 guys. I can't escape this, I keep trying to, but it's a major part of my life. So, I'm just going to accept the fact that I have to tell this story every time. But very grateful for that period in my life because it was the first time that I got validated as an artist in terms of someone deciding to put their finances into, sponsoring my creativity.
Right.
It was something that it was really good for me. When it happened so fast. And it's only in hindsight that you look back and say, rah, like some of the things we're looking for now, back then we just had it.
Right.
We were in a position where it was like, what do you want? You know what I mean? And I was in SAE, SAE Institute, and before I graduated, I was working as a club promoter. Did terrible in the nights. Oh my God. I wouldn't let my girlfriend come to my club nights because they were so trash. But I didn't stop, And so I got lucky one day after we performed at the Fridge. I just told the host of the event, a guy called Weka.
Mm-hmm.
He's in Spain now, I think. I told him, listen, do you want to do the after party at my event on Saturday? He was like, yeah. And so we packed everyone from the event and we went there and it was packed out. And so the guy who put the whole SOS thing together happened to be there. And he goes, who's running this place? And they all point to me. Mm-hmm. And apparently someone had been speaking to him about me earlier on. You get me? And so he was just like, are you the guy I've been hearing? He's like, come see me. And the rest is history, man. We there was a lot of them in the group before. And then when I came in, we decided to trim down the group. We thought about changing the name, but I decided that in honor of what the group was before, they even lost someone from the group before. So I was like, in honor of that sort of effort, let's not just wipe everything away.
Right.
Just because someone else, a new person came in, I was like, let's keep the name.
Right.
And so it just started from there, bro. I'm telling you, in on the 1 month we entered the emerging talent competition. I don't know if you know it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, I do, but for those who don't,
Okay, so it's
explain a
like
little bit about it.
yeah, so it's like three 300 artists at that time entered into this competition to win and perform at Yasalam,
Yes, yeah, yeah, yeah. Yes, Island. Yeah,
Yes
yeah.
Island, yeah. But it was called Yasalam, and you get the chance to share the stage with like J Cole and all these guys, and we won.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I remember talking to the guys. I was like, "Listen, there's some really amazing vocalists here. If we're going to win this competition, we have to win it based on our performance."
Mm-hmm.
And they all agreed as God would have it, and we just put in all the effort in our performance. And as soon as we got on stage, I remember like girls just started screaming, "Da, da, da, da." And that was my first time of realizing that okay, this music thing, even though you can sing and stuff, it's a show business. You have to
Right.
you gotta be able to put on a show. Anyway, we won backstage with J Cole. Imagine,
Yeah, yeah. How was that experience?
bro. When you're in the moment, you don't feel it. It's just
Right.
like it's just there. It's like, oh, that's J Cole, that's J Cole, that's Dovelo. That's you just seeing these people, and everything just started happening really fast. Doors start opening very quickly. Life is going very quickly, and then the unfortunate part of it was that I would just say because of how quickly everything happened, and we're just all a bunch of rookies.
Yeah.
We didn't have the intelligence to handle what was happening. There was one manager managing four guys with
Right, right.
four different egos and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's difficult.
It just went south real quick. The opportunities were still there, the doors were still open. I mean, we were invited to Hollywood, we got offered by Universal Music, Sony Music turned everything down because we felt we didn't need them. But just the disagreements just kept getting worse, and in the
Yeah,
end,
yeah.
it just kind of fizzled out.
Yeah, sometimes when you're working with a bunch of people, man, it becomes a lot of chefs in the kitchen.
Yeah.
And when people are equally talented, man, it's just like everybody has their own vision. That's why, when it comes down to groups, it's a little bit more difficult on the business side of things to handle or on the, manager side of things to handle. So what do you see as a person who got their main start in the group, even though you always was doing music, but your main, attraction was in the group. Now you started going solo and releasing music on your own. How has that process been for you?
It's hard, bro.
Yeah.
Oh my God, bro. Dang. See, music is very selfish.
Right.
It demands. People see me today and they're like, "Bro, how have you been doing it for so long?" Da, 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 da. And maybe they see one or two things happening now. Very few people can call it luck. If anything happens to me today, if I get signed tomorrow, very few people can call
Never,
it luck.
it's not luck. I know for sure for you, it's not luck, bro.
Because I had to make the decision.
Right.
Am I going to commit to this? This is. I don't consider myself a dumb person. I feel like if I try anything, maybe I will succeed to an extent. But I feel like I've just put in so much effort and so much time, and a lot of my talent is just a bit skewed towards music, and I find that I can express myself emotionally, verbally, and intellectually through music.
Right.
And I understand the power of music
Right.
in terms of making a name for you, giving you an image. Bro, musicians can enter into places that regular people can't enter.
Right, right, right. Spaces and places.
Trust me, bro. Like I'm meeting the other day, how many people did you bring to the studio?
I don't know, man. I'm here a lot, so yeah,
Bro.
a lot. But
You brought me in a room. I've met Afrobeat, I've met Winton Harvey, I've met. Why? Just because I'm an artist.
yeah, yeah,
So it may not be like, okay, it's a 9 to 5, here's your money. But these are lifelong connections you make with people.
right, right. And you could touch people from different aspects with music, man. Like if you have a conversation with music, yeah, that's one thing. But when you have your music, that's actually like that form of expression, man. You're connecting with people on a way deeper level than just a conversation can ever
Yes.
connect with
Yes.
with somebody for. So when it comes down to like the business aspect of music, right? So you started releasing music on your own, right? And you started like focusing more on your solo career. What was one of the most hardest things for you to understand about the business aspect of it?
The most difficult thing for me to accept was to accept that it was more than just the music.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. For artists, I think that's a big thing.
Yes.
Like,
To sort of acknowledge the bigger piece of the iceberg under the.
yeah,
You get me? It was a rude awakening. And you go through a point of character refinement where you begin to, just sort of agree that you're not the only talented person in the world.
Yeah,
And if there's two people who are talented in the room and one of them is putting in effort on
the hustle.
the hustle,
Yeah, yeah.
like you very rightly call it, then who do you think is going to have an edge?
Yeah, yeah. I always tell artists in general, man, like, you can have all the talent in the world, but if that hustle don't match the talent, then it don't matter because that average artist will get way more opportunities if he hustle harder than the most talented artist. You know
Yes,
what I mean? And
yes,
then that's what, even with the labels, right? The labels look at that as well. Like the labels know you could be talented, but if you don't have that hustle on a
try.
major label, they won't even sign you no matter how talented you are because you can't buy hustle. That's something that's embedded in you. You know what I mean? But you do have a hustle, bro. Like I've seen you everywhere. I've seen you perform. I've seen you in rooms. I've seen you at gatherings where it's just panel events, things like that. I've seen
Yeah,
you
yeah.
on panels. I've seen you talk to major people. You know what I mean? So you do have that kind of hustle. You know what I mean? For artists that don't have that kind of hustle, what advice would you give them?
You better develop it, my guy.
Yeah, yeah,
You have to develop it right now. Yesterday, start
right.
developing it. Yeah, because don't listen. Even if your music, the music industry is saturated. Do you understand me?
Yeah,
That's for sure. But first of all, in the first place, not everybody is talented.
right, right,
There's some good musicians, but they're not talented.
right.
I know that. You know what I mean? Um, but there's also some very, very talented people. So
Yeah,
if your angle is talent, it's people who's talented.
right, right,
It's not just you.
right,
No
right.
matter what your comment section is saying,
Yeah,
trust me, my guy. And so you have to acknowledge the people who are putting in the effort to create an industry.
right,
Bro, if there's no industry, there's no platform for you to display your talent.
right.
So,
100%.
and people have to understand that talent is in different dimensions, bro. Just because you can sing, don't make you the only talented person. The person who knows how to navigate the business aspect of music is also equally as talented as you,
Right.
man. Don't downplay that situation. It's equally, if not more talented than you, bro, because these people have interpersonal skills. They have years and years of gathered knowledge that they've acquired to get to where they are. And you think that just because you can sing, so
Yeah. And how is like speaking of which, because you talk about singing, but you're multi. You could do everything, bro. You could produce, you could sing, you could rap, you can engineer, you can like make melodies, you can write songs for other people. Like you can do that. How important is that to have as an artist when it comes down to just in general, like how to make that work? You know what I mean? How important is that for artists to have multiple skill sets?
I think it's just like the parable of a talent where whatever you're given, you have to cultivate, otherwise you lose it.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
that really scares me. Um, no matter what I've made in my life or haven't made in my life, I know it's a matter of time.
Right.
And so I'm worried about an opportunity meeting me unprepared.
Mm,
Do you
that's
understand?
big. An opportunity meeting you unprepared, man.
Man, that really, but I before I sleep at night, I think a lot about stuff like that, bro. Like, okay, what if this happens? What if that happens? You don't know, okay, check it out on YouTube,
Right.
So um I think I'm blessed. I'm not gonna lie to you. I think God gave me a lot, but at the same time, I think it's about honoring your gift
Right.
with putting in the hours to refine.
That 10,000 hour rule,
Yeah,
right?
you
Yeah,
got to
yeah.
do that, bro, because no one is going to. If you're in a room like you had us in the room with all those artists that day, no one cares, bro. You tell me, oh, sorry, I can only play piano or I can
Right,
only
right.
sing. Look, bro, if they ask you, what do you think? You need to be able to answer, man. Are you a musician? You know what I
Right,
mean? No,
right.
don't tell me like, oh, when I'm in my room, like
Yeah.
that's funny.
How important is it for you to have your own mind, man, when it comes down to that? Like you said, if somebody asks you if you like something or whatever, how important is it for you to have your own mind and not just be like a yes person?
In what aspect?
And what from an artist perspective, because we in rooms and it might be a popular artist and they might say, "How you like this?" I know a lot of people that be like, "Oh yeah, this is dope," when you know the music is garbage. You know what I'm saying? Like, how do
Yeah,
you navigate that? Because that affects the bottom line at the end of the day. You know what I mean? When if an artist is turning in a project that's garbage, you know
yeah,
what I mean?
yeah.
Like,
So how is it important for you to be able to stand your ground and tell
stand your
them?
ground and really like have your own identity in a room full of people who have already crossed a certain threshold in the music game.
Yeah, the music game is just like every other industry in terms of how you deal with people.
Yeah,
Egos are just as fragile.
yeah,
People are just as sensitive,
right,
and there's vendettas everywhere. You know what I mean? So
right,
even if you must speak the truth, you need to be able to present it in a manner that's not demeaning,
right.
because some people might just be honest. You know,
Yeah.
they happen to find themselves in the room with you. If they're not at your level, remember that you were once at their level.
Right.
So you need to be able to communicate criticism in a constructive manner instead of bringing people down, man.
Right.
You know what I
Right.
mean? So at the end of the day, it's about the final product, bro.
Right.
The final product is what is where it's at. So no matter how, no matter the density of talent in the room, the final product is not going to measure up to what it's supposed to be if everyone is looking to shoot the next person down, bro.
Right.
You know what I mean? So you need to think like that. And when you think like that, then you're not afraid to constructively say, maybe try something else. Try,
Right.
because they can feel the energy that you're not trying to bring them down. You're trying to bring something out.
Right.
You know what I
Right.
mean? So that's how
Yeah.
I see it.
So when it comes down to your experiences within the music game and the music industry,
Yes, sir.
you know, what's some of your triumphs, man? What's some of your successes that you like, damn, like I really like I did that. You know, what's one of those moments for you?
Damn. Well, the biggest thing for me is going back because listen, I was studying IT before, and I realized, you know, my inclination towards music was unquenchable, and so communicating to my very African dad that I have to go do this music thing, and that's what's going to make me graduate, and you know what I mean, struggle to graduate. I was top student primary school, top student, say like beginning of secondary school. But as I began to grow up, I realized that I just didn't care about. It was too easy for me anyway.
Right.
I just need to listen to what the teacher's saying, and I just got bored, and I start leaning towards literature and music. But anyway, so the point is, now I'm at university struggling to graduate because I don't care about this thing. I want to go do the music thing. That's how I've decided
Your mind is always there.
I
Yeah.
want to experience life through the lens of a musician. And so my dad finally letting me go pursue and then I get into school, and before I graduate, I'm signed into a record label. Can you imagine the feeling?
Yeah.
And you're on TV and he's watching you from Nigeria like, oh, this guy really knew
Yeah.
what he was saying. That was my first feeling of gratification. Like, okay, this thing worked.
Right.
And then when I finished from SAE with honors or whatever, first class, whatever, that was the second part. Like,
Yeah.
I meant this shit for real. Excuse my French. I meant it for real. Here's my results. I know I wasn't passing before, but see, look at all this. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then what else? Every other thing, I can't really completely attribute to myself because people have helped me at every junction of my life. But I would say, I don't know, man. Performing for BMW at Soul DXP,
Yeah. Yeah.
that made me really proud, bro.
Right.
Oh my
right.
God, it made me really proud. It was a big deal for me.
Yeah. Speaking of brands, man, how important is it for you to collaborate with brands, and what does that mean for you as an artist?
Man, brands is a tricky thing because you gotta. It's almost as if you have to be in a position where they come for you. Because
Yeah.
when you start going for them, it becomes sort of like a repellent situation. It's like, you have to be careful.
Right.
But I feel like when brands begin
Or
to
have the right person. Let me just interject real quick.
yes, please go ahead.
Or have the right person that's representing you on your behalf. Because I think a lot of artists, it's a lot of artists that's out here that's like, I could do everything myself.
Exactly.
Where it's literally impossible. It's a team of people that always creates the situation for the artist. No artist is truly independent. Like, and when I say independent, yeah, you might not be signed to a label, but it's other people that's around you that's making it happen. It's never a one-man show. You know what I mean? And I think for artists in general, when it is a one-man show, it creates chinks in the armor where it's easy to like block you out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You just now answered a question that I subconsciously had, which is
Yeah.
like, why does it work sometimes with these brands and sometimes it doesn't?
Yeah.
And I just realized it's like, if you're going by yourself to a certain brand of a certain caliber and they check you out, it's just you, and you come in talking about this,
Yeah.
it's like, bro, are you serious about the thing or not?
Right. Right.
There's certain brands that can DM you themselves and be like, bro, I want to collaborate. But
Yeah.
when you start aiming for, because when I had BMW, it was through an agency. You know what I mean?
And it's a big thing. A lot of times, just something as small as at whatever your brand name.com. That is a big thing compared to at Gmail. So even if you do have like a manager or whatever, like sometimes it's just the way that people's psychology and the way they brain work
Perceive
is just
you.
like, this person is serious because it's not coming from an at Hotmail or at Gmail. This is something else. Like, so even putting contact or admin at
Wow.
or
Wow. Wow.
whatever or manager at whatever it is, that creates like this line of like, oh, I'm not talking directly to the artist himself, I'm talking to a representative of the artist. Let me now check out this artist.
Wow.
Instead of
Wow.
saying
Wow.
you're saying my artist, even if it is you behind the scenes doing everything.
Wow.
The fact that you don't necessarily let the brand know that it's you making those, decisions, it creates more of an appearance that, oh, this person is serious about their craft, right? So
Interesting.
it's little things that you can do to kind of make your brand bigger than life that, like a lot of artists don't do. If you are representing yourself, just get a little domain name, pay $4.99 a month for at whatever your brand name is .com or .ae or whatever.
$4.99.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it's like $5 a month,
That's
something like that.
that's all.
$8 a month, something. It's not expensive at all because you could I have to own the domain name. You know what I mean? Even
Yeah.
if the domain name is not active, as long as the email account is active, that's who they're communicating with, and they have no clue who they're communicating with. As long as you don't use I or me or things that's like first person, they don't know who they're communicating with.
Yes.
So it's like little cheat codes that you can use.
President Carter, bro.
Yeah.
It's talking to President Carter, his knowledge every second. It's like, bro.
No, but it is, like at the end of the day, is the system of things, right? It's like is a system in place to eliminate people who are working independently, right? And that's unfortunate because as an artist that's struggling to get on not you struggling, I'm just saying like in general, like as an artist that's like first trying to get on to a certain level or whatever, these little tricks that they might not know.
They
You know
just
what I
don't
mean?
know. It's like the business lingo. It's like the language of business that opens doors for you.
Yeah,
It's like
yeah. Because I know even with me,
incredible.
bro, like when I was in artist mode or if I'm doing something else, man, yeah, it's me behind like that email address, but I'm never say it's
me.
You know what I mean? Like sometimes like I'll have my assistant get back to you. And there's a whole different email account. You know what I'm saying?
Get back to
Yeah. So it's just
No, that's
and
funny.
then it's just it's just the little tricks of the trade, man.
Game.
Because at the end of the day, this is a business for them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And they want to know they at least they could bring out one other person that's your manager or whatever, like to whatever it is that they have you doing. So brands is like they look at little stuff like that, man. So I think in general, brands are definitely a centerpiece of an artist's career, especially right now and nowadays. You know what I mean? Because it's hard to have any event without a brand that's associated with the event. You know what I mean? But then as far as brands collaborating with musicians, we got to learn how, like, artists, hear me out. No disrespect. You got to do what you got to do to make ends meet. I'm talking directly to the camera because I want any artist that's watching this podcast to understand this. Learn your value as a musician. Do not devalue yourself because devaluing yourself also devalues the scene that's around you. So get your money, but make sure you're putting out a quality product and you know your worth of that quality product. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Because that happens a lot here, Like I said, and the brands will offer the cheapest, they don't care about the artist. Not all brands, because you have brands that do actually care. You have your Pumas, you have things like that will all right, give you something. But, you want to make sure that you're not performing for a pair of shoes or a shirt or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Like make sure you're getting some money and make sure you maximize the budget. And then it should be like some people that's talking for the scene, like that's behind the scene, that's not necessarily artists, like, that's talking for artists to actually like lift up the whole community. That's something that, we try to push with Emirates Music Summit is like, I understand budget, but brands, you have a certain amount of budget that you must spend in the community, but you rather spend it on international artists. So how do we kind of push that to the local scene? You know what I mean? And what's your experience with that? Have you ever had something that kind of, you knew that you were the best fit for this particular moment and you wouldn't take it because of what they were offering? Or
how I operate is I try to analyze things from a distance, so I don't put myself in a situation where, my abilities are downplayed. You know what I mean?
Right.
My value is downplayed because another way that certain brands feel or some people feel like they can gain more notoriety is by downplaying certain people in public. It's like when you go to certain fashion events and there's just like this funny girl in front there and she's looking at you like, who invited you? It's like, bro, what are you doing? If I met you somewhere else, you'd give me your number. What are you doing?
Right.
You know what I mean? But for me, I just try to really analyze, and it took me some time to understand that, listen, even if you want to get something from a brand or from someone, it's better to put yourself in a position where everything is ready,
Right.
so much so that they just have to ask. Now they want to ask you.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying to you? Like, if you keep asking, it's like, and if someone, it's like you go to a club, bro, and they turn you down the first day, second day, the third day. Whenever you go there, it's gonna be like, this is the guy. from a distance, they'll be like, yeah,
Right,
go,
right.
don't come today.
Right, right.
So you just need to be able to. I feel like it's all about positioning, bro. And as an African, a Nigerian boy in the UAE, it took me a while as well to understand that this is a different environment, you know.
Yeah.
For me, I went to school here, so what are you telling me? All of us, we are here.
Right.
But it's like there's a demographic here that these guys are trying to appeal to. So maybe not everything is for me, but at the same time, I feel like people.
Speaking on which, not everything is for you, and
Yes.
realizing that is a value of itself. You know what I mean? Go ahead, my bad. I ain't wanna, but
No,
that's an important statement.
yes, that's very key.
Yeah.
But I also feel like in certain places, people of my descent need representation because
Right.
I do believe in Dubai being just like a melting pot. Do you understand me? And so it's to the benefit of these brands and these events and all these places to kind of be a little bit, just a little bit more, you know, open-minded in terms
Right.
of, because how are you going to lose? You're not going to lose by adding more, you know, increasing your reach.
Right.
How is that going to make you lose, bro?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, there's bare Africans, bare Black Americans, bare people
Right.
who look like me here. So
Right.
if I'm involved in your campaigns, I'm a dope representation for you as well,
Right.
my guy.
Facts.
You know what I mean? So I know you're trying to reach out to the Arabs and who I love. This place has raised me to an extent. You know,
Right.
these are my people. You know what I mean? But
Right.
at the same time, I think a little bit more consideration to, and you know, that's why I was very happy with BMW because, you know,
Yeah, that's huge.
I was-
BMW, bro. Yeah.
other things have happened. Puma has come through for me a couple of times.
Yeah.
You know, all these guys have been there, but it's just like there's a little bit of work to be done in that area. They'll get to it eventually. I think. You just need to.
No, and it's coming, man, especially with the new songs I've been having the pleasure to listen to, man. So you got a new song. Well, not a new song. It was released, you know, late last year. But it's called Khalifa. You're really doing your thing. You were number 3 on the charts and Spotify. You know what I mean? Like, you really doing your thing right now with that particular song, man. So tell us a little bit about what your plans are for that song and beyond.
How candid should I be? How how humble should I try to be? Well, first of all,
It's your platform. Do your
it's my
thing.
platform. My ultimate dream, my ultimate plan for Khalifa this year is to see it played at the Dubai Fountain as a regular play.
Yeah.
Like, this is my vision, bro.
Right.
And to have like a performance like with the Burj Khalifa backdrop.
Yeah.
You know what it is because the song for me is very it's a very powerful song in the sense that it captures the experience of many people.
Right.
You know, in terms of how, if you listen to the lyrics, I'm telling my story.
Yeah.
But also in a very melodic and catchy way.
Right.
You get me? And it's just the song of, the energy in the song is that of triumph and hope.
Yeah.
It's the same energy that Dubai has, bro. I mean, this is, if someone told you this was going to happen in the desert a long time ago, and
Nobody will believe it, right?
you get me? And then some guy comes and says, we're going to build the tallest building in the sand.
Yep.
Do you understand me?
Yep.
So I use the Burj Khalifa as a metaphor for my life in Dubai, where instead of looking at it as, man, it's been sometimes very difficult, but it built you. Do you understand what I'm saying to you?
Builds character for sure.
It builds character, and then there's moments of triumph, and that shows you that you're getting somewhere.
Right.
And so this is the story of how Ikomboy come to Dubai and turned to Burj Khalifa.
Yeah.
But at the same time, the publicity the song is receiving right now, I don't know if I can mention, if I can go.
You could do whatever you want to do. It's your, you know.
Obviously, President Carter has a lot to do with how much publicity the song is getting right now. That's what I was saying about, you know, connecting with the right people. I have a vision for the song that, you know, I don't think I would be able to, you know, achieve by myself. And so maybe at this point I should say thank you for.
No, I appreciate it, man. But it's honestly, bro, I do that just out of love and my belief for you as an artist.
Yeah.
Number one, I've been a fan of you since I first heard you. You know what I mean? And then it was one particular song that kind of took me over the edge, and that's the 504 South song, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, this is an artist that I know can work. You know what I mean? And it's just having the right opportunity to kind of work with you, which I think we're in that space now, right? Because before it was just a lot going on, right? And then we
yeah,
wasn't around each other enough. And I feel like we got to a space where it's like, yo, I see you. I see what you're doing. I understand. And that's why I say about like the hustle and the grind and really putting the work in and just being diverse in what you do as well, man, because you do it all. And you're able to kind of create and bring the best out of people, that you're around, which is something that I appreciate, because there's not a lot of artists that has that drive and talented as you are. You know what I mean?
Thank you so much, man. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Everything. Just thank you, AudioSwim. Thank you, But I'm not afraid to say thank you, bro. You know what I mean? People want to, gatekeep and like, bro, this is the man, bro. I'll tell you right now, I'm the first person that ever actively, since I became independent, you hear a lot of advice. There's like so much advice, but the first person that actually went in and said, okay, now your stuff is good enough. Here you go. Do like this, do this, and here you know what I mean? So thank you, and let's take it to the top.
Yeah, we're going to keep turning it up, man. We got some big things, some surprises in the pipeline that
Yes,
inshallah
sir.
will come out, and you know what I mean? That metaphor of Khalifa would
man.
go up.
To the top, bro.
Yes, sir.
We lift it.
Yes, sir.
We rise.
Man, I appreciate you so much, man. You're my first guest on my new podcast, man.
Presido.
AudioSwim, the music hustle, man. Thank you, Ikomboy.
Yes, sir.
And we out of here, man. Make sure that you tap in to On Air Podcast. Whenever you're recording your next podcast, make sure you come here at On Air Podcast.